hearing SRIMAD Bhagavatam. In the first verse of SRIMAD Bhagavatam, we heard we have to meditate on the absolute truth, who is Krishna. And then in second verse, that this Bhagavat Puran, means SRIMAD Bhagavatam, is speaking about love of Krishna, giving up all other motives. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha means worldly religiosity and economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. All these are extraneous desires to our real nature. They are unnatural, but because we are constituted as such that we can misuse our relative independence also, we want to do that, so we get that facility so that we realize that this is not what is wanted. So that is why we have to hear SRIMAD Bhagavatam to become established in pure devotion to Krishna. Then we can get, as Vyasadeva got, eternal bliss. So yesterday we heard how Krishna, he was speaking to Vasu inside Uddhava that it was your desire to attain my association. So I am very pleased with your austerities. Austerities means here unflinching devotional service. So I will give you my ultimate favor. You can go to my transcendental abode, Vaikuntha. This is your last life. Then Krishna told further, O Uddhava, in the lotus millennium, in the days of yore, at the beginning of the creation, I spoke unto Brahma, who is situated on the lotus that grows out of my navel, about my transcendental glories, which the great sages describe as SRIMAD Bhagavatam. We heard in second canto, when Brahma, because this is also one kind of lila of Supreme Lord. He is having that Nitya Lila, eternal pastimes, in simple environment like Vrindavan, then in very opulent environment like Vaikuntha, and as Ramachandra in kingdom where he is following all ethical principles. And also you have that Sadashiva Lok, there certain pastimes. Then we have these three Purusha avatars, Mahavishnu, Garbhodakashai Vishnu and Kshirodakashai Vishnu. They are engaged in doing this. It is called Shrishti Lila, creation Lila. This is also one his Lila. You will find in Vedanta Sutra, Lila to Lokavat Kaivalyam. He's doing this only out of pleasure. There is no any cause, but out of bliss, out of play. So, first Mahavishnu, he breathes out, and so many, not so many, unlimited material universes, they appear from the pores of his transcendental body. That is beyond this time. And that event is also eternal. It is all the time going on. There is no pressure of time there. So it comes out, and then Mahavishnu, by his glance, he infuses the particular type of living entities called marginal potency jivas, that is Tatashta Shakti. These jivas are not in the spiritual world, they are also not in material world, naturally. But those jivas who want to serve Krishna, they can attain that service in transcendental realm. Those jivas who wanted to enjoy this, then they are infused into this matter, and first this unlimited universes, then this Mahavishnu expands into Garbhoda Kashai Vishnu, who enters into each universe. And from that Garbhoda Kashai Vishnu, from his navel, one lotus sprouts, stem and lotus. On that lotus on top, the first created living being, created in the sense that he's getting body, because all souls, they are eternal, they are never created. But it is said created in the beginning of creation, when according to their past karma from previous creation, they are getting again that body according to their past. So first Brahma comes, forehead or more in some bigger universes, and he was in darkness. He did not know who am I, what I have to do, all this. And he tried to figure out, but could not. After a long time of trying to figure out, but could not, then he submitted, he opened himself. Then he heard that sound, tapa, 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 tapa. So by hearing that sound, he understood that he has to do tapasya, means austerity, penance. And according to that sound, he was doing. Then after much time, then Krishna appeared to him. And he told him, I am very pleased with you. You did as per my instruction, that sound I gave, that tapa. That was, I spoke that to you. So by that inspiration, you did this, I'm very happy. So now I will give you all knowledge about me, that I was existing before this creation. During creation, it is I who exist in everything. And after creation, means at the time of annihilation, I will remain. And in 4 verses, he told him, this is the first verse. In 4 verses, he told him, then Brahma meditated on those 4 verses, and he could realize who he is and what is his duty, what he has to do for the satisfaction of Krishna. Then he did this secondary creation. So that here Krishna is telling, I spoke unto Brahma about my transcendental glories, which the great sages describe as SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. In the beginning, only 4 verses were there. And one will say how this is, I can understand all word by word in Sanskrit, but there are not many things mentioned. The point is that that is transcendental sound. You cannot catch it, you cannot understand by dictionary meaning. You have to submit. Then by submission, that sound will reveal to you all truth. According to the degree of your submission, it will reveal. It is unlimited. So these same 4 verses, Brahma gave to Narada. And Narada realized, then Narad gave these 4 verses to Vyas. Then Vyas realized, he saw Krishna and Maya and Jiva and everything he saw, how this is happening. Krishna with his internal potency in transcendental realms doing his pastimes. Then Maya Shakti, yesterday we heard that Krishna sat with his back on that banyan tree because Maya behind him cannot influence him, never. Maya can influence only those jivas, individual souls, who become averse to Krishna. That Vyasadeva saw in Samadhi, in his trance, in that transcendental vision, he saw why jiva is bound, what is the cause. And he wrote it there in 11th canto, yes. Bhayam ditya biniveshatasya ishatapetasya, that jiva is turned away from Krishna. Then Maya catches, then fear comes and everything comes. And there is only one way to come out, that is by surrendering to Krishna, then Maya will give you up. So that he realized, that is the medicine. Like yesterday I told, one scientist may invent one medicine which will cure so many people. So one quality scientist. Like that, there is a necessity of one quality realized soul, awakened soul. He sees, he has that medicine, he sees what is the truth, so he can help so many others by prescribing that. So Vyasadeva, after seeing Krishna and his lila, different kinds of lilas and of avatars he will explain, he wrote this SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, 18,000 verses from original 4, 18,000 verses, but that is not the end. One cannot say, oh, I read 1, 2, 3 times, I read SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, now I know everything. No, that is never possible. Krishna is unlimited. His pastimes, associates, everything about him is unlimited. We are only getting some hints here. And if we practice as per instruction of bona fide Guru in preceptorial channel, Vyas Madhva like this, our Gurudev, then if we practice, then Gurudev told me that if you will chant Harinam, holy name, from the core of your heart, and in that sanctified heart, from the core of heart means sincerely, actually for the service of Krishna, calling him without any other desires, then in that sanctified heart, purified heart, you will see everything what is written in Bhagavatam. Directly you will see. And there is no end to that. Even without reading the book, you can see everything in purified heart, like Vyasadeva saw. We can also see if we do same as he did. He did that Bhakti Yoga process and he entered that transcendental realm and he saw with his transcendental eyes, by the grace of Krishna, everything. So he wrote, but that is not final. There is no end. Anantadev, that is one expansion of Krishna. I mentioned before Garbhoda Kashai Vishnu, then he's entering into each universe. Then there is another expansion that is Kshiroda Kashai Vishnu, who will enter into the heart of every living entity and into every atom of this world whole. Then final expansion in relation to creation is Anantadev, Shesh. He is holding all the universes on his head. Hoods, many. It is mentioned 1000, but it is unlimited. So this Anantadev, he is speaking the glories of Krishna with his thousands of heads continuously since time immemorial, and he is continuously, and each head, they are not speaking same. Each head is speaking their own Harikatha. Harikatha means, Hari means Supreme Lord, Katha means speech or talk about him, Harikatha. Everyone speaking own Harikatha, and till now he does not find any end to glories of Krishna, because there is no end, unending. And all the time he's tasting the transcendental bliss in singing the glories of Krishna. All the time, Anantadev. So you cannot finish this at any time. Krishna is unlimited, eternal, and devotion to him also is unlimited, eternal. And that bliss is also eternal and unlimited. It is going on ad infinitum. So here Krishna is telling, I spoke to Brahma. It yadri toktach. Yes, I forgot to say before. Someone may ask, why Krishna is making this lila, that this creation lila? What is the necessity? And those jivas, they have to suffer birth, death, old age, disease. What is the necessity? And also one time one lady here in Slovenia, she challenged me. You are saying God is all good, but then why there is so much suffering? He cannot be all good. So why we should worship him, if at all he exists? Then I told, but she could not immediately understand, that because of this suffering proves that he is all good. Then she could not understand. Because we are judging based on our narrow knowledge and narrow experience. We don't know what is the whole picture. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained that Krishna is unlimited. So he has unlimited varieties of leelas. So why this one should be left out? If he is to be unlimited, then there must be unlimited varieties of leelas. So this is also one of them. Why this should be left out? And how he is all good? Because these jivas, marginal potency, I told before, Tatashta Shakti, they can choose this side or that side. There are many types of living entities. Some are in Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan, Nitya Siddhas, Nitya Muktas, eternally, their personal associates, and marginal. So they always have knowledge and devotion to Krishna, always. They never come under the influence. But Krishna, because he's unlimited and doing unlimited leelas, so he made, or we cannot say he made or created, because it is not in some point of time. These jivas are also eternal. It means it is by his desire that such jivas exist. They're like small children. They don't have all knowledge. They are like small children. So they need to be raised by Krishna. He is giving them advice and everything. And some jivas, like in this world you see some children, they become naughty, and then they have to experience bad consequence of that action. So like that, this is also like one kind of parent lila of Supreme Lord, that this certain type of jivas exist by his will. If they would not exist, then how he can be good as a parent? there would be some limitation in God. He could not be all good, all variety good. So as a parent, he has to teach them, you do this, this is good. So unless there are certain jivas who are ignorant, how he can have such goodness? And when some jivas, not all, some jivas, they misuse their relative independence, they want to enjoy this Maya. Then how, if this would not be there, how Krishna could be good in that sense that he is rescuing them from that problem? How he could have such lila? It would be impossible. So we cannot say he is not all good, because he is all good, in all variety good. This is also there, and he cannot be blamed, because it is jivas who misuse their relative independence, but he also gives solution to that. When jivas, after enjoying so much in different varieties, 8 million species, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, in animals, birds, trees, aquatics, all this, they can enjoy because they want it. So many varieties. As elephant, you can eat big quantities. As fish, you can have much progeny, so many children. As bear, you can sleep long time, and like this, so many facilities we get. So then, after enjoying, then we see this is not fulfilling. Then we get this chance in human life. We get proper discrimination. Then, by Krishna's grace, he's asking, now you want to more this, or you want to come to me? You can decide now. So this is also facilitating his unlimitedness and all goodness, such lila. And there is a good, like in movies, a good end, that happy end. There's always happy end, because finally jivas, they will understand that that was not good. Like if you have one table, then on one side you have chapati and one side rice. We are here. So if we choose to take rice, then it means we gave up chapati. In that sense, gave up. Not that we were eating, but not took that choice. Like that, we are in between. So we can go for enjoyment of Maya, or we can serve. So some jivas, they decided we want to serve. They got eternal bliss by Krishna's grace. And he is always encouraging this. As a parent, encouraging. But some naughty children, they want that. So they have to realize, and Krishna is coming after them to rescue them from that. Otherwise, how he could be that all good? So then that lady finally understood that in broader, if you know the whole picture, then you can understand that Krishna is really all good. But if we are not seeing the whole picture, then we may misunderstand. And as I told some days back, there is no real harm for the soul at any time. As I told, in dream, you are dreaming someone is cutting off your head. But in reality, you have your head. When you wake up, you see my head is still there. That does not mean that dream was totally false. No, some suffering you got there, that is real. But that your head is cut off, that is not real. Like that, we are experiencing this material existence. We think it is real, and we are suffering, crying, sometimes laughing, happy, sometimes all this. We are experiencing this, but this is all like a dream. Or you die, and again you are born, and all this we are seeing, and we are misidentified with this and experiencing. But when you wake up from this dream, then you see it is all false. I was never born. I never died. That is all false. And for Atma also, there is never any suffering directly, any suffering. Only when engrossed in this thing, misidentifying, then you get suffering. Like someone is watching a movie and he's so engrossed, and someone like some tragedy happens and he will also feel it because he's so engrossed. But that is not real, not really happening. So directly he's not suffering. When there is end of movie, then he's back to that consciousness. Like that, jivas never die, never suffer. That is why some days back, I forgot to say on that day, when Narad Goswami came to Vyasadeva, Vyasadeva was in depression, so he submitted to his guru, Gurudev, you please help me. Then Narad first asked him, he did not say, how are you? But he said, how is your soul in connection with your gross and subtle body? He asked in this specific way, because realized soul he sees differently as conditioned soul who are in ignorance see. We think I am this body, so what is good for body is good for me. What is bad for body is bad for me. But realized soul, they are not seeing like this. So Narad knows everything, so he first asked him, oh Vyasadeva, how is your soul in relation or in connection with your gross and subtle body? Why? Because to ask gross body or subtle body, they are dead matter. How are they? It is useless because they have no feeling. They don't feel anything. They are dead matter. Only when Atma is present, they are getting that power to work, to feel and move and like this. When Atma leaves, it's finished. So to ask body, how are you, is useless. If you pinch one dead body with needle, will he say, ow? No. But if you pinch one living person, then he will say, ow. He will feel that pain. Because Atma is present. So and to ask Atma, how are you, is also useless. Because for Atma, in reality, there is never any suffering. Atma is always blissful by constitution. Satchidananda, eternally existing, conscious, and blissful, by default. By no any, like in this world, we have to eat food to survive. But for Atma to get bliss, there is nothing necessary. It is by default, blissful. So to ask Atma, how are you, is useless. So Nara told, how are you, means how is your soul in connection with gross and subtle body, means when misidentified with them. Then Atma is like indirectly suffering, being engrossed in this movie and suffering. But in reality, Atma is not directly, is no harm to Atma. So only when Atma, this soul, by the misuse of her relative independence, want to enjoy this Maya, then Maya will catch and will misidentify, then you will experience this suffering. But there will be never any harm to Atma. It is like a dream. When you will wake up from this dream, you will see it was all false. Later on in SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM, that's pastime of Gajendra is coming. Elephant. He was about to die when crocodile attacked. So he surrendered as an animal. He surrendered to Supreme Lord. Why? Because he was devotee in past life. So now that devotion appeared in his heart at the right moment. So he surrendered to Supreme Lord, and he was uttering those prayers which he was doing in previous life. And in that prayer he saw, O Supreme Lord, you are at the time of dissolution, so many, all jivas, they are destroyed, means all living entities, and you are watching all this like indifferently, without any emotion problem. Our Gurudev gave one example. In Gujarat, it happened some years back, that the big earthquake, 300,000 people died. So people were then, those who were atheistic, they were telling how God can allow this. He's not seeing anything. So many people died. How he can allow this? Our Gurudev told that here Gajendra is saying not only 300,000, but all living entities in this world at the time of final destruction, before new creation again comes, they will all be destroyed by the fire produced by Shiva, that will come and destroy everything, not only 300,000. And at that time, Krishna is watching without any problem. How this is? He's very cruel or what? No compassion, nothing. No. His vision is different. He's seeing there is no harm to Atma. Atma can never die, can never be born, can have no suffering. But because they are averse to me, they are seeing this dream, they wanted to enjoy, so, and they are reaping the fruits of their own actions in this world. So what I can do? It is their desire they want. If they will turn to me, then I will remove that dream and there is no problem. But if they are not turning to me, then what I can do? It is their desire. So he's watching without being emotionally disturbed because of this knowledge. So this whole creation lila is also one of his unlimited lilas, and it is all good for all involved. For Krishna to be able to express this all goodness in that way I told before, and for jivas to get that realization through this. Those who are naughty jivas, they are getting that realization, and there is a happy ending. So you cannot blame God. It is a happy ending in all lilas. So we wanted, so we got it, and as long as we want, that is going on, and then we get a chance, you can change, and then you can be rescued. So there is no problem. So here we heard that in the beginning of creation, that is one creation, that is not the first creation. There is no first creation. Because Mahavishnu, he is one form of Krishna, he is eternal. His breathing is also eternal. When he breathes out, innumerable universes come out. When he breathes in, they are all destroyed, they enter into him. All material energy enter into him, all jivas, or souls, they enter into him and they sleep for some time. And when new exhale comes, then new creation will come, and all those jivas also, they will come out, they will be created, means they will again do that karma as from previous cycle, and it will go on. So who can say the first creation? There is no first creation. That is it. They are eternal events. Like Mahavishnu is beginningless. There is never a time when he did not exist. He is beyond time. And also his breathing is beginningless. Creation is beginningless. Jivas, souls, are beginningless. Their karma also is beginningless. So here Krishna is speaking in the beginning of creation, means one creation. I spoke to Brahma, his first created being. He gets all Vedic knowledge, And then he is speaking to his sons. First is Atharva and others, but because they are in different levels of consciousness, they understand in different way. And they are acting also in different way. Not all are understanding pure devotion, because they are different. Like in Ganga river, holy river, purest. There is a bank and there are so many trees growing there. They're all getting same water from Ganga. But lemon tree is giving sour fruit. A mango tree is giving sweet fruit. And that neem will give bitter. And there is also one tree which will give poisonous fruit. If you eat, you will die. But all are getting from same water. But they are different. So like that, Brahma was giving that knowledge, pure knowledge, but not all could receive properly. It became polluted by their consciousness, and then it is like this. But then Krishna appears and he establishes, or Guru Parampara. So that SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM iti adritoktah paramasya pungsha pratikshananu graha bhajanoham snehotaroma skalitakshārastam munchan chucha pranjalir ababashe. Uddhava said, O Vidur, when I was thus favored at every moment by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and addressed by him with great affection, my words failed in tears. Means he could not speak. And the hairs on my body erupted due to ecstasy. After smearing my tears, I, with folded hands, spoke like this. He got affection of Supreme Lord, so he, feeling that affection, so much mercy, he was unable to speak. Only he could cry, feeling that mercy. And due to ecstasy, hairs on body stood up. There are other symptoms also of ecstasy, and they are of different degrees also. You know, in the prayer of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, when that they will come to me, when by chanting your holy name, my hairs will stand on end, my voice will be choked, I will not be able to speak, and tears will roll down from my eyes, I will become stunned, and the losing color of body. And there are 8 principal symptoms, and there are other 33 also. So that is happening. And there is a degree also. And sometimes we may get by causeless mercy of Krishna, not because we deserve, but because he wants to give us some drops so that we will become inspired to go on with this practice. So after some time he could, after smearing my tears, I with folded hands spoke like this. Kon visha te pada saroja bhajam sudurlabor teshu chaturshu apiha tathapi naham pravrinomi bhuman bhavat padamboja nishyevanotsukaha. O my Lord, devotees who engage in the transcendental loving service of your lotus feet have no difficulty in achieving anything within the realm of the 4 principles of religiosity, that is dharma, economic development artha, sense gratification kama, and liberation moksha. But, O Great One, as far as I am concerned, I have preferred only to engage in the loving service of your lotus feet. For devotees, everything is available by the grace of Krishna, but they don't want anything else except his service. Even liberation they don't want. They don't mind being born, no problem, but let me have your service. Because they understand when they're engaged in the service of Krishna, they are on transcendental platform. So you will find prayers like this. I don't want to be born like Brahma, highest living entity, but being averse to you. I may be born as insect. I have no problem with that. But let me have devotion to you. I may be born in hell, hellish planets down. No problem. I may be born in heaven, in poverty or wealth or whatever. I don't mind anything. I only want your service. Like Dhruva, when he saw Supreme Lord and got that taste of serving him, he said, no, I have no desire for that kingdom. Before I had, but now not. That is why, and they are not losers. They are not losers of anything. You will find in Taittiriya Upanishad, I like that description, that how much happiness one healthy human being, young and so much wealth, he's getting, and 100 times more happiness one Gandharva is higher beings, they're getting. And there, the description is there, 100 times better. That is the bliss of Gandharva and also of liberated soul. And then again, there is another, but 100 times more than Gandharva that Devata they are getting, and that is the bliss of Devata and bliss of liberated soul. So, and then like this, up to Brahma and up going. So what is the meaning? Liberated soul has everything included in his bliss. His bliss is unlimited. In contact with Supreme Lord is unlimited. So all kinds of other bliss is already included. He's not loser of anything. Like someone has €5, one who has €10, he has €10 means he also has €5. One who has €100, he has €100. It means he also has €10. So like that, the liberated soul has all kinds of happiness. He's not losing anything. He's not deprived of anything. We, due to ignorance, we want something from Supreme Lord, this, that, we think we'll be happy. But we don't want him. But getting him, you will get everything. So they only want service. We have so many examples in Gaur Lila, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that Sridhar was very poor. And Mahaprabhu offered him, I can give you anything you like. He said, no, I don't want anything. I only want your service. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself prayed, Nadhanam, Najanam, Nasundarim Kovitang Bhajagadisha Kamaye, Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatam Bhaktira Haitukittai. Oh Supreme Lord, Shri Krishna, he is Krishna himself, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but now in the mood of devotee to teach by example. He himself is tasting and also teaching by example us. Oh Supreme Lord, I am not praying to you for wealth or any worldly relations. Also, I am not praying to you for getting name and fame that I am a great scholar or great artist or anything, any position like pride or I don't want. Even I am not praying for liberation. If I have to be born life after life, I don't mind, no problem. I only want your causeless devotion, means pure devotion to you for your satisfaction. I want to serve you without any other interest. So that is what I want. Because they tasted. Our Gurudev gave example. If someone is taking one low quality molasses, you know, that from sugar juice, that they make gur. They see in India gur, like a little, like it is like a paste or something, little thickened. So there is one very bad quality molasses, has some things mixed there inside, tobacco and some things. So, but someone is eating that because some sweetness is there. So someone else will tell him, no, you don't eat this. It will harm your health. There are many things mixed inside. So better means you should give up. It is not good. But that person will externally say, yes, I will not take to him, but secretly he will take. He will go on take. Why? Because some sweetness is there. We all need sweetness. So, but if you give him sugar candy, that gur you refine, and the ultimate product is that mishri, sugar candy, if he will taste that sweetness, then he can automatically give up that. Why? Because he got better. He's not deprived of any sweetness. So we think, if I will not get this, then I will be deprived. Only I will serve God, then giving up all these things, then I will have no happiness. That is ignorance. One who actually serves, get the service of Krishna, genuine service of Krishna, he is not deprived of any bliss. If we are having some other desires, that is depriving us of real happiness. So all happiness he is having. That is why here you see Uddhava, he is also having that realization, that taste of serving Supreme Lord. So he said, I know I can get everything from you. And those who are your devotees, everything is available to them because you are Supreme Lord and they are your children. Everything is yours. So what is not available to them in relation by your relation? Son of a king, everything is his in that relation. Everything available to him. So for devotee, everything is available, but he does not want. He only wants, I have preferred only to engage in the loving service of your lotus feet. That is pure devotion. It is not hypocrisy. Really, they have only this desire. Because of getting that realization who really they are eternally, and what is their, in one sense, what is their duty, if in open reverence, or in another sense, what is their desire. Because they see Krishna is my beloved. I want to do this for him. From that relation they are serving. They have that loving desire. So they are doing that for him. That is their only desire. And as a consequence, they are fully fulfilled. They're getting the transcendental bliss. So for them, it is impossible that they could desire anything else. As for example, on one side, there is a pot of sand, small stones, sand, beach, sand, pot full. Another is pot of clear water, pure water. So one person is thirsty and he is ignorant. He drinks that sand. Then he will be happy. He will quench his thirst. No. If he will drink water and he will quench his thirst, can you at any time convince him when he will be thirsty, no, you should drink that sand. Can you convince him? Or can he have that desire? Impossible. Like that, those who have tasted real life from their constitutional real position, real nature, and tasting that unending, transcendental bliss, fully fulfilling, for them it is impossible to have any other desire for dharma, artha, kama, moksha. In moksha, in liberation, in personal liberation, there is no service of Krishna. You are not having suffering of this world and you are having that static bliss. That is okay. But for those who have tasted the service of Krishna, for them, this liberation, impersonal liberation, is like hell, suffering. Why? There is no service of Krishna, all useless. The liberation for them is useless. That is why you will find in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami wrote, that when one attains that level of devotion on the stage of bhava, he can feel moksha lagutakrit, that moksha, liberation, is something very insignificant, nothing, useless, because of getting that taste. Like one who took that sugar candy, he knows that molasses I will not take. Or one who drinks water, he will not take sand. Impossible. So Uddhav here is expressing this. I don't want anything. I only want your service. So tomorrow we will hear further what Uddhav further said to Krishna.